December 11th, 1969, 12:35 p.m. The Korean air flight YS-11 from Gangneung Airport to Seoul takes off. On board are 4 crew members and 47 passengers. 10 minutes after takeoff, their lives will take a horrible turn. One of the 47 was the agent Cho Chang-hee, who was sent by the North Korean government to hijack the plane and force the pilot to head toward North Korea. The plane lands at Sondok airstrip, where the passengers were received by North Korean soldiers. Their fates were now in the hands of the North Korean government. Meanwhile, in South Korea, the news of the abduction broke and led to civil protests and condemnations throughout the country. The international community joined the protests. On the 14th of February 1970, after 66 days of being held against their will, the rising pressure on the North Korean government led to the release of 39 abductees. The remaining 11, even after 50 years, their fate remains a mystery. The Korean War ended in 1953, but even after signing the truce, abductions were still commonly performed by North Korea. Since then, 3,835 people were taken in total. While most abductees were allowed to return, more than 500 were forced to remain in North Korea. The political motive behind these abductions is suspected to be for the purposes of gaining intelligence, indoctrination, and training people for espionage. This also applies to the 11 missing abductees of the aircraft hijacking. These people were highly qualified with useful skills. According to the North Korean government, they all decided to remain. However, previous abductees have continuously spoken out against these allegations. One of the 11 abductees was Mr. Hwang In-Cheol, a program director at the TV channel MBC, and father of 2 children. The news of the abduction ripped his family apart. His mother and wife both suffered from PTSD and depression, and are traumatized to this day. Without the father's income, the family went through severe financial difficulties. For his children, this meant a life in hardship. His son Hwang In-Cheol has no memory of his dad, yet he has never stopped hoping and fighting for his father's return. After the public lost interest and started to forget about the case, Hwang In-Cheol started his own protest to put the issue back on the agenda. At first he fought alone, but after gaining the support of multiple NGOs, he managed to get the attention of an international audience. The Korean Red Cross and the UN have acknowledged the case and requested North Korea to confirm the status of Mr. Hwang's father, but without any success. The international community has condemned North Korea's handling of abductions. The UN Commission of Inquiry on Human Rights in North Korea reported in 2014, DPRK authorities have committed and are committing crimes against humanity against persons from other countries, namely victims of international abduction. This is a continuous crime against humanity. It will only come to an end when the fate and whereabouts of the victims have been revealed. North Korea has to be held responsible for their actions. If the issue can be resolved, it will be a step towards healing the deep wounds in the North-South Korean relations. Time is running out. Mr. Hwang In-Cheol is growing older every day, and this will be his last chance to be reunited with his family. To find out more about this issue and on how to support Mr. Hwang, please visit PSCORE.org.
50년이 됐지만 아직도 저희 아버지 돌아오지 않았어요. 저희 아버지 돌아올 수 있도록 함께해 주시기를 간곡히 호소합니다.